welcome to another edition of Wolfpack Watch. This one, the version after the road win over Kennesaw Mountain, 41-21, that put us at a 7-2 record, 2-2 in region. And as everybody is knowing now that Facebook and Twitter have announced it, we are playoff bound. Welcome, Coach Bryant. 7-2, 2-2 in region. We're playoff bound. Talk about Friday night a little bit.
Well, I hope we're playoff bound because everybody seems to be saying that we are, so I hope that comes to fruition. But
well, I've looked at the numbers, and I think we are. I can't imagine that we're either the 4 seed or the 3 seed.
Okay.
I think now the North Cobb loss is what really helped us. If North Cobb had won, then they had a chance to jump us. But I think we get it with a tiebreaker with them, with our win here in the Den over them.
Okay. But, the game was, it was a dreary game, damp, and we had wet ball Wednesday just to be ready for that. We took a bunch of our composite balls and dunked them in water and made the quarterbacks throw wet balls, and of course they didn't. They didn't enjoy doing that, but I think that helped prepare us for Friday night. And some of the guys on the team helped out a lot with keeping the balls dry Friday night for our quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers, and keeping fresh ones in the game. And our plan defensively was to stop their running back, and we didn't stop them, but we did a great job of containing him and putting them in second and third and long situations, which they had a really good quarterback as well. But I told our defensive coordinator at the beginning of the year, I said, if we hold a team to under 21 points, then I think we have a chance to win every Friday night. And just so happened we scored 41 and they scored 21, and I thought we ran the ball offensively. I thought we ran the ball really well, along with the jet sweeps and the stretches with Preston, and then Coven Harvey came out and scored a touchdown and ran the ball really well, and then Kellan always makes plays at receiver, and our receivers did a good job of catching the ball, and we really stressed blocking on the perimeter this week in practice, and we were throwing the ball to the boundary a lot with quick now screens because our receivers did a great job all week preparing for this game and preparing for perimeter screens.
All right, so first drive, Coach, went down, stalled a little bit, and we kicked a field goal, got them on defense, pinned them back, got a sack. Then we went up, I believe, 17-0 before they scored. I was telling Mr. Harkins here before our interview, and told the kids, I don't want to say that any game is not exciting, but this was sort of a ho-hum game in that we never really let them back in it. The closest they ever came was 24-14. And we scored right after that to make it 31-14 and just stayed ahead of them most time. And that's a testament to moving the ball on offense and keeping them off the field, and also the great defense that we had.
It was, and that's something we had talked about, especially pregame and then going into that week was, our guys were a little down on Monday and Tuesday at practice, after losing to Hillgrove. And I just told them, I said, look, man, I said, you never want to lose a game, but as a coach, I don't enjoy losing games, but I enjoy to see who's going to respond after a loss, because everybody likes to win. Who is it that actually hates to lose and is going to do everything they can to prepare the week prior to the game that we're coming up after a loss, to fight through adversity and to get a win on the road in bad weather. And, I thought our kids did a great job of that. And again, we told them, we wanted to stop the run and we wanted to move the chains offensively and not put ourselves in second, third, and long situations. We didn't put ourselves in second, third, and long situations. The referees did. So, not saying that their calls are wrong, but, we send that tape to their booking agent, so they'll have a field day with it. But anyway, so, we did, I thought our offense did a good job of moving the chains, especially in the first quarter. Coach Nance and I script third downs and first downs and second downs in the first 11 plays, but we script 2 third-and-ones, and we had 2 third-and-ones actually 3 third-and-ones on the first drive. So, we had to call the next one off the cuff, which is okay. We had one that we were ready. We went to a 3rd and 2-to-3 play. But, our defense did a great job. I don't think they had as many plays. They had about the same number of yards offensively as we did. But, I thought our defense did a great job of keeping them out of the end zone, and our offense did a great job of putting the ball in the end zone when we had a chance. And then special teams-wise, Brock with 2 field goals, and, 5 for 5 on his extra points, and then, over a 50-yard punt average, and, pinned them back at the 1-yard line, one time and inside the 20 twice. I mean, it was a great team win all the way around. I thought we won all 3 phases of the game, which the game before I thought we lost all 3 phases.
Talk a little bit about this defense, because I think, given the youth of this defense and the moving parts that you've had to use throughout the season, knowing that we lost so much from the previous year, I don't think this defense gets enough credit. I see some of the scores that these high school teams put up on a weekly basis, and some of the teams that play better defense, how many points they give up. I think our defense plays very, very well. Now, our offense has sometimes something to do with that, because they stay on the field and keep our defense off. But our defense has played very, very well this year, very, very consistent. And aside from a few lapses, they have held their own with some very high-powered offenses this season, and I think that's a testament not only to the group as a whole, but our defensive leader, Jordan Veneziale.
Yeah, and Jordan, Jordan's a great football player. I talked to his dad a little bit before the game. I saw him out there. He was there like an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game, and he said, "Coach," said, "I got to get in these last few moments as much as I can." I said, "Well," I said, "his high school career is waning quickly. It's getting ready to be gone. He'll be on to college." And I told his dad, and I'll tell the viewers, he's not only a great football player and a great kid to have in the locker room, but he's a high character and good all-around kid too. That, he's one of the kids that you'll never have to worry about off the field doing something to besmirch the program or to put a bad name on his family or his family in this locker room. And I think he does nothing but promote North football in the most positive way. And wherever he signs to play college football, they're not only going to get a good football player, but they're going to get a winner in the locker room, and they're going to get a winner outside of the locker room as well.
Absolutely. I second those sentiments 100%. All right, talk a little bit about the offensive side of the ball. You already hit it. You ran the ball better on Friday night, and forget about what type of defense they are. You ran the ball better, had good execution on a lot of plays that moved the ball, kept the chains moving, kept the clock running, kept them off the field. Ross, another excellent job of keeping this team on the field, keeping them moving, and then the wide receivers and running backs making plays. They seem to be getting better every week. We got another tough game coming up this week. Talk about what they've got to focus on coming in this week.
Well, we've got to continue to gel as an offense and get better in, the run game, the pass game, and then, limit ourselves on third and long and second and long, and not put ourselves in those kind of situations. I thought Friday night, our offensive line did a great job, protecting Ross in the pocket as well as opening up run lanes for our running backs and for our guys on jet sweep with Riker Brown and Jared Ray. And I thought Preston and Coven Harvey did a good job running the ball, in the game. And then, our receivers, led by, Kellan and Jared, and Mickey McGuire made a couple of great catches, and then Riker made a couple of catches. Tanner Bentley made a good catch to set up a long pass route, and Briley Stillwell, made a 4th and 1 catch down the sideline that, put us up for our next to last score. And then our offensive line, they're getting better every week. Coach Hines does a great job of those guys, and they've gotten better every week. And we've played 10 offensive linemen. No, the one guy that's kind of the stalwart in that whole group is Andrew Smith. He's kind of been our most consistent lineman all year, and done a great job leading this group of linemen. And the rest of those guys all play about the same level. They're all really good players, and they're week to week. We grade them week to week, and then different guys will start each week based on how they played in Friday night's game. And, they've done a great job as an undersized offensive line every week, as well as our defensive line, being undersized, doing a great job of taking the game plan that the coaches have put forth and executing that game plan to give ourselves a chance to win at the end of the game.
Hey there, Pack fans. Welcome to the Players of the Week segment with the most recent game, the Kennesaw Mountain Mustang game, where we won 41-21. Our defensive player of the game this week is Jordan Veneziale, number 41, our linebacker. He had 16 tackles, 11 solo, 2 quarterback sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits, and actually 2 pass breakups as well. Our offensive player of the week, Kellan Autenrieth, Number 3, our wide receiver. He had 6 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. He also had 4 catches on third down, 3 of them for first downs. He is our leading receiver and leading touchdown receiver for this year. And our special teams player, Brock Travelstead, number 38, our kicker, 5 for 5 on extra points, 2 for 2 on field goals, and had touchbacks on every kickoff from Friday night. First, we'll talk to Jordan. Jordan, how was that game Friday night against Kennesaw Mountain?
It was awesome.
Yeah? Little smack talking in that game, as I understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We're 7-2 now, 2-2 in region, and we're headed to the playoffs again. How's that make you feel?
Just what I wanted. Just where I want to be.
So you've got one more game left. It's at McEachern, and this game ends up being big, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. It's for the 3rd seed.
For the 3rd seed. We've played McEachern many times over the years. You know that senior class over there. They know us. What's it going to be like going up against them in a crucial game, knowing that they're going to be the 4th seed when we win this one?
It's going to be fun. I can't wait. We're going to attack this week hard, and we're going to get after them Friday.
And win, lose, or draw, whatever that may be on Friday night, and I don't even think we could have a draw, so I'm not even going to worry about that. But win or lose, we're in the playoffs. Looking forward to another playoff year?
Yes, sir.
I believe this is the 5th consecutive year the Wolfpack have made the playoffs, and it's 3 consecutive years for you on the varsity. How's that make you feel, knowing that you've taken this team to the playoffs this year?
It's just felt great. I just felt like the team's come together a lot this year since spring. A lot of young people stepping up.
Well, there aren't many seniors left on this team, and knowing that you're one of them, you've led this defense and led the team in general as a rallying cry, so to speak. How has it been with the kids looking up to you this year as opposed to in years past?
I'm just trying to set a great example for the people coming up because I know they can be just as good, if not better, and they can have great careers here.
One more regular season game left and then the playoffs. Knowing that your high school career is coming to an end, how does that make you feel?
It started hitting me senior night. Got a little emotional. That was going to be my last time playing in the Den. But I don't plan on packing up my bags anytime soon. I'm trying to make a deep run in the playoffs this year.
I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that 2nd round game, I'm still counting on you guys to get us a 2nd round game in the Den. I know it takes some luck on the other side, but get us a home game here in the Den. Be the 3 seed, and we'll play the 3 or 4 seed on the other side and be done. One last thing. Coach Bryant did this within the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to do it to you guys. Tell us one thing about Jordan Veneziale that maybe the viewing public doesn't know. Something that you can tell them, of course. We're not going to get into any situations where you're telling on yourself.
Well, I'm kind of a nerd. I play a lot of Xbox, watch a lot of YouTube videos. If most of y'all know, I'm a Fortnite geek. So, yeah, I'm just a Xbox kind of guy.
And I could attest to that because he plays with my son all the time. So. All right, well, thanks, Jordan, for being with us. Hand that over to Kellan. Next, our offensive player of the week, number 3 wide receiver, Kellan Autenrieth. And for those of you who want to know what the reference to Fozzie is, ask him about his break trip when we went whitewater rafting up in North Carolina. Kellan, offensive player of the week for the first time this year.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How was that game Friday night?
It was exciting. Yeah, we started off pretty slow, but then once we got in the groove of things, they just couldn't stop us, and it was just fun being out there.
I just said before we started the interview that not that any game is really ever boring, especially when you put 41 points on the board, but it was sort of a ho-hum game in that you guys never let them get it back in the game.
No.
I think 24-14 was the closest they got, and after that it was over.
No.
So how'd that make you feel?
It made me feel good. I mean, we knew our defense was going to be able to, if we stopped their running back, we were going to get the ball back, and we just wanted to keep putting points on the board, just not letting them have any chance of getting back in the game.
7-2 on the season, 2-2 in region play. We're sitting at that 3-4 seed right now. Big game next week against McEachern. How much are you looking forward to this game next week?
I'm looking forward to this game a lot, actually. This will be my first time ever playing at McEachern in that stadium, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping to be the first team here to beat them.
Absolutely. That is one thing that I was going to mention later on in the program. This, other than middle school, at the high school level, North Paulding has never beaten McEachern it would be so sweet
Yes.
for you guys to win this game when it means something on the 3-4 seed. Talk a little bit about this is your junior season. Talk about making the contributions you've made this year at the junior level, knowing that you've got another year of high school in front of you.
Well, coming in this year, I knew I was going to be a pretty big part in the offense, but it's just exploded, man. Like, I'm lucky to be here and have everything done that I'm doing and doing all that I can for this team to be the most successful we can. So it's been great.
Well, we've looked forward to every week with you catching touchdowns, catching passes for first downs. It's been a pleasure. So I'll put you on the spot right now. Tell us one thing about Kellan Autenrieth that maybe the viewing public doesn't know.
Oof.
Don't think too hard now. Come on.
I'm not. I mean, I got a job at Publix. Not many people know that. They see me up there like, I didn't know you worked here, but.
Well, speaking of that job at Publix, thank you, Publix, for letting Kellan take a break and come up here for this interview. We'll give you a shout out because Kellan is right now on his break from his work shift. He works until what time tonight?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. So he's got to go right back after we get done with this interview.
Not looking forward to that.
One quirk, one funny thing. You know, I know you're the younger brother of a guy that's gone through this program years ago. I'm sure you've got a lot of stories about your older brother too.
Yeah, I mean, when he was here, we used to wrestle a lot, and I mean, sometimes I would take him down, so I guess that's a plus.
There you go.
I guess that's something.
We'll take that for what it's
All
worth.
right. All
Thanks,
right.
Kellan.
I don't believe that.
It was every once in a while. It wasn't all the time. I got lucky.
Well, congratulations again,
Thank you.
Kellan. Thanks for joining us. Throw it over to Brock. Our special teams player of the week, number 38, our place kicker, Brock Travelstead. I think this is, 3 times?
Yes, sir.
You've been the special teams player of the week and very repetitive with you every week. How has this season gone for you overall in your mind? I mean, I think you've missed, 1 field goal
Yes,
all
sir.
year? No extra point misses. And your kickoffs, I think we've counted in the booth, you have 3 kickoffs that have been returned this year, and I think one of them was actually intentional, if I can say that. So how has this season been for you?
It's gone great. It's been a little unexpected because, I mean, going into this year, Coach Bryant told me he never really had a kicker, so I didn't really know how he was going to use me this year. So other than that, we've done a great job special teams wise. I have great coverage almost on every punt and kickoff. I mean, I really haven't had to have any coverage. So other than that, it's gone great.
You're in your junior season, got 1 more season left. Like I just asked Kellan, how has it been this season? I think you're looked at as one of the leaders on this team, even though, you're a junior. But because of what you've done and how well you've done it, you're looked at as a leader. How's that made you feel?
It's been great. Really, no one expected us to make it this far. So it's been a great experience and a great ride for this team, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, knowing that the 2 losses that you guys have had, you've competed very hard in those losses. This team could very well be 9-0. I mean, the Hillgrove game aside, I know I got away in the end, but you guys were pretty close in that late third quarter. You're 7-2, 2-2 in the region. You're going to McEachern next week looking forward to our first win at the high school level against McEachern. Looking forward to this game Friday night?
Yes, sir, I am. Last time I was there, I was a freshman. I didn't get to play at all that game, but it was pretty crazy with all the big talent they had on that team. So I'm looking forward to playing in that big atmosphere over there. So,
well, we're looking forward to seeing this entire team play well there Friday night. All right, last thing, Brock, tell us one thing about you that the viewing public might not know.
My mom makes me and my entire family go to the mall every year and take Christmas pictures of Santa.
That's awesome. A shout out to Amy Travelstead for making the kids go to the mall to take Santa pictures every year. That is awesome. Well, all 3 of you, congratulations from last week. We look forward to another solid week this week. Let's get a win at McEachern. Let's be the 3 seed. Let's avoid playing the 1 seed on the other side, and then we'll worry about the playoffs when you get there. I appreciate you guys joining us, and thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. All right, 7-2, as I said, 2-2 in region play, and we've got this final game with McEachern coming up Friday night at McEachern. As we see it, and I'm going to tell you this because I think it's that way, this is for the 3 and 4 seed. And I truly believe that doesn't necessarily matter which one. We'd rather have the 3 seed instead of the 4 seed so that we play the number 2 on the other side instead of the number 1. But I know you'll say it doesn't matter who we play. We expect to beat them regardless in the playoffs. But we are now going up against a McEachern team that this high school, at the high school varsity level, has never beaten before. We have never beaten McEachern. This senior class wants to go out with a win. Everybody wants this win bad. I've seen McEachern play this year. They've got plenty of talent on that team, as they always do. But they're vulnerable. And I don't know that I've ever seen that before. What are your thoughts going into this game Friday night? What do we have to do to be successful, other than the traditional be better than them in all 3 phases of the game? Tell me something that is a key that we've got to do well on Friday night.
Well, the games that we've won this year, speaking offensively, we've not turned the ball over. Against Hillgrove, we turned the ball over 3 times, resulting in 21 points. We can't turn the ball over against McEachern. We can't put our defenses back against the walls when they've got McEachern's got an outstanding running game. Best offensive line that we've seen this year since Rome. And 2 running backs that's already got offers in college. So they've got dudes all over the field. So we can't make the game easier for them by putting our defense in bad situations, by turning the ball over, making holding penalties. Just stupid penalties offensively that we don't have to make, and put ourselves in a bad situation, which in turn puts our defense in a bad situation. Offensively, we've got to continue to take care of the football. We didn't turn the ball over this past Friday night. Going into the Hillgrove game, we had turned it over 4 times the entire year. So that was one of the biggest reasons offensively that we've been able to be successful, is we hadn't given opposing teams many sudden change opportunities. And then defensively, we've got a monumental task ahead of us to stop a great, ground and pound game. I mean, they are really good. They have the best running game that we've seen since Rome, since we played Rome in the spring scrimmages, since we scrimmaged them this summer in the FCA camp. Like I said, they've got dudes all over the field, and we're going to come out and we're getting ready to meet right now as a staff and put together our game plan, and hopefully our guys can execute the game plan, and we'll have a chance to steal the game in the 4th quarter and finish 3-2 in the region going into the playoffs.
Talk a little bit about what the challenge will be on the offensive line for this group. They will now face, I believe, the biggest kid that they have faced all season, Jamil Boros. Last I saw was 6'5", 325 pounds on that defensive line. They move him all around. He's a great pass rusher and a great run stuffer. Talk about the challenge going up against that defensive line of McEachern.
Well, we're going to have to keep them all balanced by, double teaming, at the point of contact, and chipping on pass routes, with our tailback and fullbacks in the passing game. And then, Ross getting back and getting rid of the ball on timing is going to be key versus these guys as well. Most of our pass game, if we throw the ball the way it's supposed to be thrown, and throw the ball off a 1-step, 3-step, or 5-step with a gather timing, then, that usually limits the pass rush of the opposing team. And also, hopefully, our screen game will work, good versus them as well, to slow down some of that pass rush. And then when we get in 2nd and 3rd and short situations, we've got to be able to run the ball for first downs. And we get the ball inside the 5 when they, put 7 or 8 in the box and lock up man and 0 all across. We've either got to get rid of the ball quick, or we've got to be able to run the ball. So to be able to do that, then we're going to have to use, a lot of misdirection, a lot of double teams, and create run lanes for our running backs and backs to run through.
It will be a monumental challenge on Friday night, but this community has a lot of hope that we can beat McEachern for the first time at the high school varsity level. Get that 8-2 record, 3-2 in region, and we'll let the playoffs play out as they may. Coach, you got anything, last sentiments before we sign off?
No, I thought our kids played really well Friday night, and I'm excited for those guys. And then, the 3 players of the week, we had several different guys that could have been voted players of the week this week. Offensively, we're Preston Rogers scoring 3 touchdowns, and then several of our linemen graded out, above, 90%. So we had several guys offensively and defensively that could have stepped up and got the player of the week. But, these are the 3 that our coaches voted on. So I'm just happy for our kids and happy as a coach that I get to coach these guys, and that, the way they responded Friday night after a loss versus Hillgrove is what I'm most proud about. The W is great, but as coaches, we like to see our kids grow up, and we think our kids are growing up right before our eyes after adversity strikes. A lesser team could have folded right then and just mailed it in for the season, but I thought our guys have done a great job pushing forward and taking a next play, next game mentality.
Well, we're looking forward to next Friday night, 7:30 at McEachern. Big game for this North Paulding community and this North Paulding High School. We ask everybody to get out there and support this team as much as they possibly can. Let's get this win, and let's finally say that we've got a win over McEachern for this senior class. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir.
And as always, we sign off. Go
Pack.
Pack.
I just want to win.